I want all three. Ooh, Ashley, hey, ooh, Ashley, hey.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Shay back with another video. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashley. As you can see by the title of this video today, I'm going to be showing you how to make DIY rose water out of these beautiful roses in my backyard. If this is your first time hearing my voice, my name is Ashley, and I'd really love it if you gave this video a thumbs up and also subscribe down below to join the family. And without further ado, let's hop into the video. So as y'all saw in the previous clip, I took these beautiful pink roses from my backyard in my little garden. You can always get these from the grocery store, your local flower vendor, wherever you want to get them. I just got them from my backyard because we do happen to have roses at my house. I did chop them down with these garden shears just to cut off the thorns and everything like that. Right now I am going to remove the stems from the leaves just so we only have the leaves. Typically, you do want roses that, oh my god, there's a bug, there's a bug, there's a bug, there's a spider, there's a spider, there's a spider, there's a spider, oh my gosh. As y'all literally just saw, you do risk getting a lot of bugs on your roses if you pull them straight from the garden. Next thing I'm going to be doing is rinsing off the roses in the sink. That's why I do have them in this colander right now. Basically what rinsing them off is going to do is get off any remaining dirt or bugs that may still be in there, because you don't want any of that in your rose water. You want your rose water to be as clean as possible. I'm just going to rinse my roses off with cold sink water. Now you're gonna grab a large pot to boil the rose water in. Basically, you're gonna use whatever you can store. So if you can't store this much water, use a smaller pot. Basically, if you have enough containers to store as much water is going to go into this pot, go ahead and use a big pot. But like I said, use whatever you have room to store. Personally, I like to use filtered water from the fridge. You can even use distilled water or bottled water. I would just stay away from tap water just because tap water has a bunch of unfiltered chemicals in there that you don't want in your rose water. So I recommend using filtered water, distilled water, or bottled water, just anything that's kind of like free from toxins or any like nasty things that might be in your tap water. I decided to only fill the pot a little bit over halfway just to account for any of the roses and anything that might boil over the pot, so I don't want to fill it all the way up, just a little bit over halfway. I'm now adding all of my roses into the mix. And I'm going to turn the stove onto a medium-high heat. I just want to let the water submerge all of the roses, so I'm pushing them down right now. So what you want to do is let this water boil, and eventually when the roses turn to a translucent color, basically the water will remove all of that pink color from them. That is when you know the rose water is ready. Periodically, I like to mix the roses around just to make sure they're not like sitting too far at the top. This just gives them a chance to like soak into the water a little bit, just to make sure they're like fully submerged by the water and not just floating on the top too much. As y'all can see, the roses are becoming more translucent. The water is removing that pink color from them, but also as you can see, it has not started to boil yet. So you do want to wait for it to boil before you turn it off. That is the goal we're looking for. As y'all can see, the water is starting to boil, which is exactly what we wanted. The roses are pretty much like translucent and transparent, but there is still a little bit of color that I feel like I could get off. So I'm gonna let this boil for a few minutes. I'm honestly gonna stop right here because as you can see, literally because it started to boil, all of the color is out of the roses. I'm going to remove the roses from the water and let this cool down for a little bit. I decided to strain the rest of my water out in this pot, so I have my colander and then I have a smaller pot. You want to be extremely careful when you're doing this because you are working with boiling hot water, so just take care, take caution, and be careful. As y'all can see, this water is still boiling hot, so once it cools down, I'm going to show you how I transfer it into smaller containers and then put it in the fridge.
1 hour later.
As y'all can see, the water is all cooled off now. It took about 30 minutes to an hour, but it is cool enough now for me to put it into my containers. The first one I have is this water bottle. I am using a funnel. This is going to make it way easier to transfer everything into the containers.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Make a mess then. What I'm gonna do is like scoop out the water with this cup because as y'all saw, I literally just spilled all of the water. So let's not do that and let's be a little bit more smart about it. As y'all can see, the water is like this brownish yellow color. Like I said, that is very much dependent on what color roses you use. In my experience, this rose water will last you a couple months in the fridge. My last batch lasted me about 6 months. You want to make sure you keep it in the refrigerator because it will grow mold if you leave it out for too long. So I do recommend you making a batch that you can use within the next couple months. Something that I like to do to preserve it a little bit longer is to add essential oils. Today I'll be adding tea tree oil, lavender oil, and peppermint oil. These just make it smell a lot better and they do preserve the rose water for a little bit of a longer time. So I will be adding a couple drops to each of these little containers. Sadly, I just ran out of those oils, so I am going to be using some that I don't necessarily use as much, but I'm going to be using eucalyptus and lemongrass. Alright y'all, now that I'm done packaging them and adding the essential oils in them, the last thing to do is to just put these in the refrigerator and use it as I need it. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you are still here, comment down below the red rose emoji just so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I will pop it up on the screen. You are a real one for watching all the way through. If you have made it here and you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe down below to join the family. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Ever gave you my number? Did it